I'll be your candle over water. No. That's a song from Pete's Dragon, which has nothing to do with this movie that we're reviewing today. I thought she would just throw you off because you're like, I don't remember that.
No, I never remember them.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Yes Year podcast. For those of you that are new to the show, welcome, and thanks for checking us out. For all of those that keep coming back each week to listen to old Beth and me, thank you for your time. All right, well, Beth, we had a pretty good winter storm roll through, throwing our town into chaos. The good news is the school's canceled for tomorrow. The bad news is I don't think you would have gone anyways because you're remote day, right?
Yep.
So, meh.
Maybe they'll cancel Tuesday, though.
I don't know if what you have to watch is...
Because it's going to snow again tonight, too.
Well, it's been. And then if the roads, if the stuff melts and then it gets cold at night and it freezes, that's what you want, because then it's not safe, especially with the mountains and everything like that.
Yeah, I'll still have to go to work.
Well, if it's not safe, you're not going.
I'm going.
So
It's never not been safe enough.
nice. So, all right. So this week we are going to discuss The Gate. I got to tell you, this movie did it for me when I was a kid. It was quite creepy, and I loved that it revolved around kids being the ones that had to fix the issue. My kind of thing. I also liked that it had scares coming from all angles at times. You know, again, it was 87, so I was 9, 10 years old. So this to me was me gusta. The music and sound really added to it as well, which I really enjoyed. I'm pretty sure I had pee pants as a kid over this movie. And I kind of miss things being able to scare me enough to pee pants. I mean, have you had anything scare you movie-wise, pee pants-wise? I mean, recently?
Let me reach down into my old memory.
Yeah, the old memory of old
I don't know,
Beth.
sometimes I cough too hard and pee. That's not true.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Those days are coming.
No, not really.
Yeah.
I get scared by things. I get startled by people. Like, if you come up behind me, I didn't know you were coming up behind me,
Yes.
you can scare the life out of me.
I did it this weekend.
But pee pants scared? No.
Yeah?
Maybe if I'm in the movie theater and I drink a whole thing of Coke.
Let me tell you, as I discussed with you today, let me drink one thing of sweet tea from McDonald's, and apparently it expands in my body exponentially to the point to where I have enough urine for days. I've never pee pants so much. Oh, excuse me. I mean, it's like I've got friggin' diabetes, man. And I don't. But it's like I got it. So, yeah. Don't look at me like that.
How did that just run in the family? Every time I drink sweet tea, it just goes right through me too.
But it doesn't make you seem like more than what you drink. Like, I mean, you have the amount that's in there. You have the amount that you pee out.
Well,
it seems like it's more.
Maybe it feels like more, but it's not really.
You just think it's the same amount.
Yeah.
It's...
Take it from an old person.
Old Beth. Old Beth. Sitting on your little rocking chair on your front porch. I'm just sitting.
Why is it a rocking chair? If they don't rock you, you have to rock yourself.
So would you call it a rocket chair?
No, I wouldn't call it a rocket chair. Let's call it a chair.
Your face went like you had a lemon in your mouth. That was great. I love that. All right, so question for Beth. What was your initial impression on what this movie is going to be like? Preview, artwork,
terrible.
All that jazz?
Absolutely terrible. No. Based on just the cover alone, I said, this is going to be garbage.
Okay. You watched the preview.
No, I didn't.
Oh, you didn't watch it?
No. I didn't want to this time.
Because you're afraid it would...
Well, I didn't want to spoil anything for myself.
Oh.
This time I wanted to go into it blind. Because I said, with the ones that I don't end up liking, it's usually because the trailer is garbage.
Oh.
So I said, I'm going to go into it blind this time around.
Okay.
But I wondered if you watched the trailer.
I did, and I actually remembered seeing this trailer when I was a kid.
Oh, really?
And it freaked me out because the part where the guy falls and turns into the little demons and the phone.
Oh, God, that was so funny.
The demons.
The demons.
So
that alone made this movie.
So you can't really say you were excited about watching it. You probably, coming off Legend of Billie Jean, probably are on doubts of my recommendations right now, which is fine. I've been thinking about that movie all week long.
Billie Jean?
The
more I think about it, the more misogynistic it seems.
I don't know what that means.
Like,
I don't know what it means.
Feminism. Feminism.
Yeah. I mean, well,
because it seems like it's supposed to be like pro-woman, right?
Yeah.
But
you feel like it's not.
It feels like it's not. Yeah.
Wow. It's all about $608, man.
Yeah.
And she just happens to be the tool to get, yeah?
It seems like it was supposed to, like, boost in little girls' minds.
Yeah.
Like, that feeling of, like, Disney princess, but it's, like, modern. But it wasn't. It seemed very not good.
Wow. Yeah, the more and more that you talked about it, the more and more I realized that as a kid, this was a really great movie. Legend of Billie Jean, not that that's what we're talking about this week, but I realized that it really wasn't that great, which makes me sad. You know, I don't want to ruin memories of movies. I don't.
Well, that's how like the first couple ones were. You know, when we watched like the first like 10 episodes or so, where they were like a string of really bad ones that we watched.
Yeah.
And then we got to the one where it was like old timey Star Wars, but basically.
Oh, the Last Starfighter.
Yeah, the Last Starfighter. And then we got to that one. It was good. And then we had a good streak. But like before that, those movies before that one.
Well, you liked Labyrinth.
I like talking about Labyrinth.
Oh, wow.
I wouldn't say I would watch that movie on my own time. It's like the thing you were saying, the more we talk about things, the more I like things, you know?
Yeah.
Like, we talk about Fright Night a lot.
Yeah.
And I go, you know, I like that movie. But then I sit there and I think about the movie and I go, nope, that was a really slow, boring movie.
Yeah.
It's like, that was not good.
But it's good for reference.
Yes.
Okay.
That's fair. Well, the one scene.
The wolf kid coming home. I'm home.
Whose child is this? What the hell?
Why is there a naked man on my floor?
Is he alive? These damn kids taking acid again.
Every time I leave, Charlie drops acid and one of his kids ends up naked on my floor.
I just wanted lasagna. Lasagna.
Anyway.
Oh, damn it.
Ram.
Have we done The Shining?
Yes. Yeah, we did The Shining.
God, you know, we're like 41 episodes in.
We are literally 41 episodes.
I know.
Is that crazy?
Crazy.
Yeah, like
I can't remember all that we've done.
We're like, yeah.
Still haven't done The Notebook.
Coming up on a year. Rip. That movie's so pointless to me.
Pointless. Yeah. That is the greatest love story. That is the blueprint. They die together. She remembers him, and then they die together. Is that not what you want?
That's really just spoiler alert. If you haven't seen The Notebook.
Watched that movie. What are you doing?
I don't know, man. All I ever think about is what do you want? What do you want? And it always makes me think of like somebody asking for like what you want for food type deal. That's the meme that I always think of for that. And I like that he grows a sweet beard and he redoes that house.
I wish someone would make a house for me.
Me too. Nobody will.
No, nobody is going to.
I want Build Me a House, love. I'm not going to get it.
You have.
Pass.
Do a podcast, love.
Yeah, that's good. So, The Gate is a fantasy horror movie that was released May 15th, 1987, which to me is an odd time to release this type of movie.
Oh man, there was a movie I wanted to talk to you about doing. I can't remember what it was. It's like a classic.
Beastmaster?
No.
Oh.
No.
Can't remember?
No, I can't remember.
Look back and forth really fast.
I didn't think about it now. I was told about it at work. Like somebody's mentioned it at work, and I was like, "What year did that come out?"
Is it Who Framed Roger Rabbit? Your face. This is your new face when I say things to you. It just looks like vomitous and disgust at the same time.
No,
Can't remember?
No, I don't know.
All right.
I just like to interrupt things.
Yeah. Interrupting counts as moo. 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 Moo.
I'm not
Moo.
speaking. It only works
Moo.
if you speak.
Moo. Nice. As far as actors and actresses go, there really isn't anyone of importance other than Stephen Dorff.
That's rude.
Do you know who Stephen Dorff is at all?
No, but the word of importance is kind of a rude.
Well, I just mean I don't think that any of them really, they're unknown. Let's say that. So he ended up as an actor, as an adult. And do you remember, did you ever see the first Blade where the guy gets all big? And
No.
All right. Well, he was in that. Nowadays he does commercials for e-cigarettes. So.
Oh, he's killing it.
He's killing it. Yeah. But I mean, to be able to, at least stay in the business, I guess is a good thing. So. The story is about two young boys who accidentally release a horde of demons from a hole in their backyard. That about sums it up. The film budget was around $6 million, and it had to transfer from over because it's Canadian. Mm-hmm. And it had a cumulative worldwide gross of about $23.5 million. So success overall. I mean, that's big. It has.
Well, it's crazy because we always like, oh yeah, if it doubles, but if you compare that to another movie's making that maybe had a higher budget and made like 56 million back.
Yeah.
The budget, in my opinion, doesn't really have much to do with the movie. We've watched some that had a really low budget and grossed a lot of money.
Yeah. And
we've watched some that had a really high budget and grossed no money. So it doesn't feel like, if you compare 26 million to like 45 million, how is that? That's not as successful.
Well, I guess if it costs, I guess my point is this: if it costs $30 million to make a movie and you only make $40 million, you didn't do too good.
Right.
If a movie it costs $6 million to make and you make $40 million, well, holy cow! You made hand over fist.
Yeah,
money.
I just my point about it is you're coming in like, say like movie A, movie B.
Yeah.
Okay, movie A had a budget of like $3 million, grossed 25.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a big success. You're like, dang, you made a lot of money for what you had.
Yes.
Movie B had a budget of 12 million and grossed 85 million.
Yeah.
That's a major success.
Yeah.
Right. So, you see where I'm coming from?
I guess I get what you're saying.
Or say a movie has like the same budget. You have A and B both have $3 million to work with, but B ends up having more. Making more. So,
as long as it makes back its budget times 2, I consider it to be a success. I mean, that's what I always say.
True.
It does have a B movie feel to it, with kind of cheesy acting on par with Killer Clowns from Outer Space. But it did really well and honestly has a great cult following. I mean, it's got a good rating and everything like that. People really dig this movie. The movie did well enough to spawn a sequel, but only Terry was in it from the first movie, and it was really weird. It was, if you caught one of the demons, you could make wishes and everything came true as long as you kept the demon captured. But then they lose the demon and everything turns to crap, like literally crap. It's weird, man. It was a weird movie, and
sounds like Terry.
He just looks weirder. he just looks an older replica of him, which I guess is what everybody is, but a 12-year-old, 18-year-old? Yeah, it was weird.
Ugh.
He's weird looking. Supposedly around 2011, a 3D remake was in the works to be directed by Alex Winter. Do you know who Alex Winter is? You know Bill and Ted? Excellent Adventure? The blonde kid? The blonde one of Bill and Ted? No.
Nope.
But it seems that it never came to fruition.
Oh, papa.
So, we can't do a rating on the whole preview because you didn't do that, but we'll just have to figure out.
What would you give it?
The preview? Oh, I'd have given it a 4. Like when I saw that preview, I was like, yeah, this is scary. Shit's happening. Oh, stuff's happening.
I'm calling your mom.
E for explicit.
Now I'm gonna start dropping bombs.
No, you're not. How dare you? I didn't actually get it out.
No, you did.
Shih Tzu, like a dog.
No, you didn't say zoo.
Shih Tzu. Shizu?
I'm gonna say it, and I'm not gonna add zoo.
Don't you say it.
I'm going to. I'm gonna. Here we go.
Red rum. So...
I hate that stupid red rum. See, almost. That was close.
You want to smell my beard?
Do I want to smell your beard?
Yeah, I put this stuff in it.
What the hell?
I put this stuff in it.
No,
and it makes it all mint.
Don't
Can you
want to
smell
smell
mint?
it. No.
Oh, I was hoping that you could still smell it because look, let me flake at you. Oh my god, you just whatever was in your throat just landed in my eye directly. She's OP. I mean, that went right in there with trajectory. There's a movie called Inner Space that Dennis Quaid is in, and the guy sneezes him out because he's all shrunk, and it lands on the guy's glasses. I literally, if Dennis Quaid was in your mouth, he's in my eye at this point in time.
Have you ever seen the that movie with the DNA dudes, like the amoebas? They're in the eye. They gotta call them out.
Osmosis Jones.
Osmosis Jones. What year did that come out? Can we watch that?
It was in the 90s.
Yeah, I'm Osmosis Jones. I want to watch that now.
That was a weird movie.
I think about that all the time. I'm so sorry.
Whatever you have, I now have, just so you know.
You're gonna turn into a horse. Nay.
Nay. Nay.
No one's gonna want to watch this anymore.
Oh, you listen? What? Nay.
Listen to us. I'm so sorry.
Well, I don't know what you were. I just wanted to make sure I was on the same page.
No, it doesn't matter.
Was it The Page Master? Was that the movie that they said?
Page Master?
Yeah, no.
No, it wasn't.
Oh.
It's mainstream, not some backwards movie that no one's ever heard about.
Page Master starred Macaulay Culkin, and it was animated. It had all kinds of people in it. So, just so you know.
Ow, man. Ow.
Yeah, you just... Skin flakes are coming off.
Rip that out.
Stop. You're freaking me out.
I'm freaking you out.
Yeah. I've already got Dennis Quaid in my eye now.
I don't understand that reference. I'd prefer if you said Osmosis Jones.
I've already got Osmosis Jones in my eye now. He has to get back into your body, which means I'm going to have to sneeze in your eyes.
This is not healthy. Don't say that. Please don't sneeze in other people's eyes.
Yeah.
If someone sneezes in your eyes, seek medical attention.
Yeah, email us here at theyesteryearpodcast@gmail.com.
We're not doctors.
Yeah, we cannot help you, but I'd love to hear the story. So there I was, sitting there.
And Osmosis Jones whispered in my ear.
Hello.
It's not what he sounds like.
Well, he sounds like Chris Rock. I can't do a good Chris Rock.
I don't know what he sounds like.
Well, he sounds... No,
that's Red Rum.
Red Rum!
Red Rum!
He sounds like... No.
Stop.
Stop it. All right.
Anyways.
So, the movie leads in with some creepy music, which I dig. Mm-hmm. And it comes right up with the title and cast.
Which takes 10 minutes.
No playing around for the most part with telling you who it is. It wasn't that big of a cast, so it wasn't that long.
It took a long time.
What?
It took a very long time. Like 4 minutes.
But did the ominous music do it for you?
I skipped it.
Oh. I can appreciate a movie that leads in with creepy music.
I'd like to also say that this movie right now is free on YouTube. No ads.
No ads.
No ads.
The music can actually spook me out sometimes more than the visuals can. Ooh. Like,
Ooh, spooky music. I want a sound box. I just want to believe. Yeah, I'd be really obnoxious with that, actually.
Yeah, you would. What was it? The thing with the music? Dun, 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 dun.
Like drums?
That. I don't know that it was mostly percussion.
Oh, I don't know, bro. I didn't listen.
Well, that's because you
were watching
the movie.
I was watching the movie.
Well, anyway,
I saw the houses and how empty it was, and I was like, oh, there's nobody here. And then he walked up to the house, and he entered the house, and he called out for his mom and his dad and Al. And I'm sitting here and I'm going, I wonder who these people are. And then he goes up the stairs.
You're going to tell the movie? I thought I was going to
Telling from memory. And then he goes
Let me
up,
tell this.
Then he goes up the stairs.
Stop. So once the credits roll, we open on a middle American looking
We've already
neighborhood.
been through this.
And a kid riding a bike.
Then he goes up the stairs.
He shows up at his house.
And he goes to Al's room.
He looks all creeped out though, doesn't he? Like he's
he's like, why is nobody home? And all the lights are off.
Calls out, nobody answers. Goes up the stairs looking for Al.
Goes up the stairs looking for Al.
He enters a room and sees a model rocket sitting on the table called Thunderbolt.
Says something about a thunderbolt.
Mm-hmm.
Then,
not grease lightning.
Thunderbolt.
Yeah.
Then the TV turns down.
TV downstairs comes on. He goes downstairs.
Goes into the kitchen.
Did you see the creepy video playing?
Kitchen's a wreck. I thought about Gremlins.
Oh my gosh. Then he goes into the kitchen, sees a meal, has been eaten.
Thought about Gremlins.
And the back door opens. Why did you think about Gremlins? Because the kitchen was a mess?
Because the kitchen was a mess.
And it was the 80s?
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And then...
Yeah, so then it's all stormy and
I was
creepy.
like, oh, look, there's a tree house. And I wish that I had a tree house. And thought about my childhood and how I never had a tree house. But at least this kid was a shabby-looking tree house. And
yeah, I'm going to let you keep going.
Goes up to the tree house.
And yeah, what you do with you.
He hears the doll.
Yeah.
That we don't know is a doll yet. We go, Papa.
Yeah, I think it went...
Mama. Is it Mama?
I think it said Mama.
Papa.
Nah, Mama. And then what happens?
You want to put money on it?
Yes.
No, I don't want to put money on it. And then the tree sets on fire as
How
he
does it
cradles the
happen?
baby.
How does that happen?
Okay, well, he goes up the tree.
Yeah.
Finds the doll.
Yes.
Cradles it.
Yes.
Weirdly. And then the tree sets on fire.
How does it set on
From
fire?
a thunderbolt.
Lightning strikes it.
Lightning strikes it.
Yep.
Don't know
and
why,
what happens?
That's not important. And then he wakes up.
No, it falls over with him in it.
Yeah, so he gets scared and he wakes up.
Yes.
And it turns out that it was all a dream.
It was a pretty intense dream.
Yes. R.I.P. the tree house. Because apparently it's being cut down.
Yeah.
And so, moment of silence.
Yeah. For the treehouse.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
And then he looks and
he wakes up.
There's a bunch of people outside cutting it down and such. And he goes outside and they're just okay with having the kid by the chainsaw.
Yeah, noticed.
Nobody cared.
Nobody cares.
Nobody cared.
Yep.
And then he finds a rock.
Wait. Right. Yeah. What is it called? A geode.
A geode.
Yeah.
Which I love geodes. Do you like geodes?
Very cool,
They're
man.
really
I think
cool.
those are the neatest thing in the world that formed like that. And it looks like this ugly little thing, but inside of it is just beautiful. And that's how I feel about myself. I'm a geode.
You think you're good on the inside?
I think I'm lovely.
If you were a stone, you'd be a pearl.
I don't know what that means. Is that a put down? Dang it!
They're round.
Mm.
You'd be the prettiest pearl.
Oh, that's why.
They come in clams.
I don't like.
I watched a clam get like cut. How they did it. It was really gross.
Yeah, man,
and I was
really...
like, why am I watching this still?
Because it was like 4 a.m. probably, and you were just like, oh.
It's that, or think about the stink bugs. Think
No
about
stink
the
bugs.
clams. But
So you want me to go ahead?
I guess.
So he and his friend Terry dig the hole back up.
Well, Terry's suddenly here.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
he found he was all suddenly
Yeah,
there.
he really was.
Where the tree stump was, looking for another geode, and it's called I didn't mean to say cold. And it gets all opened and smoke comes out, which I thought was really weird. Because if I had a hole that had smoke coming out of it, I'm not gonna bother with it.
Here's how I describe the next part. Okay,
Yeah.
so digging up, smoke comes out, and then I said rockets, and then I said moths.
It's not all of it.
That's not.
That's really so.
I think it'd be really funny to just like post my retention of movies because it really is like a boy riding his bike through an empty street, goes home but no one is home, goes into Al's room and says something about a thunderbolt bolt.
Yeah.
TV turns on, kitchen's a wreck, door opens. Oh look, a treehouse. Tree sets on fire. It was a dream. Rip treehouse. Finds a stone. Digging up rocks. Digging up snow. Smoke comes out.
All right.
Rockets, moths. Terry's mom died.
Does Terry make you think of Snots from American Dad?
Yes.
He even has the jean jacket thing. It's
yeah.
even cut, and I was like, oh my gosh! And I was like, that's him. I bet that's who that's based on. Is that he's probably loosely based on him? So there is some kind of noise like growling coming from the hole, and the kid is like, I don't think we should be doing this. But Terry is all like, no, we're gonna be rich, son. The kid's sister Al comes out throwing away rockets that the kid wanted, but he's been sitting there. She's like, "No, they've been sitting in the room. You could have got them, so they're trash." Blah. She says to call her Alexandra, and that she is going with her friends. So it seems she's outgrowing hanging with her brother. I think that's...
No one calls her that for the rest of the movie.
He says it one time in the kitchen when he's kind of like fighting with her that... Yeah.
Well, her mom even calls her Al.
Al. Like, literally, like in the next scene.
Yeah.
Al takes off with her friends while creepy bugs seem to be flying out of the hole.
Moths.
Like, really big, too.
Yeah.
The boy's name is Glen. Sad. And his dad looks none too thrilled about the hole being there.
Why is that sad?
Glen. Glen. I just think it's a sad name. I just don't like the name Glen. If your name is Glen, it's nothing personal.
Stop
just don't like the name. You're not allowed to listen anymore. Oh, we're going to get one listener down, and we have so few. Not really. We're doing good. Popcat. And it seems that the hole is there. And did you notice that it seemed to be pulsating?
Yeah. It looked like, you know, like when in Labyrinth,
Ooh.
the one hole with hands.
Helping hand.
Yeah, the helping hands. It made me think of that because, like, you could see they were like pushing in.
Yeah.
You could kind of see the people's hands.
Yeah. So the parents are looking to go out of town for 3 days and leave the kids at home by themselves.
You know, speaking of Labyrinth.
Yeah.
Do you ever think about the fire people?
All the time. Do you know do you know who Freddie Mercury is?
Yes.
Queen and all that?
Mm-hmm.
I had a dream that I was hanging out with him last night. What does that mean?
What does that have to do with the fire people?
Well, you were asking if I think about things.
The fire people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, apparently that makes me think
Have you ever wanted to hang out with Freddie Mercury?
I wouldn't pass up the situation, but...
Do you think they would like you?
No. He'd probably like me for a little bit. And then, no. I'd say something and he would
You'd
go...
probably be like, this guy's pretty funny. And then you'd be like, yeah.
Oh, no, you gotta go. And then I'd have to leave. And then they'd say, hey, did you hang out with Freddie Mercury? I'd be like, yeah.
I try to steal things first.
Well, heck yeah.
We are not good people.
No. I mean, like, but then that's how I'd...
Good people are poor.
I'd slowly pull it up from behind my back. I got this. It's Freddie Mercury's
Skin
mustache
cells.
comb.
Oh.
Something cool.
Skin cells would be.
Ew. I don't want skin cells. I got them in my eye already with Osmosis Jones.
Oh, damn.
So, the parents decide to go on the trip and leave Al in charge and tell Glenn to fill the hole back in that he dug. Which...
How are you feeling if you come home and you find holes in your yard?
You know...
A giant hole in the yard.
I would be pissed. I'd have the same look on my face that dad did when he's sitting there looking at it like, what the hell? I mean, that's really...
Our yard was, our childhood home, for the most part, but the backyard was wrecked. There was, like, no saving that grass.
Do you remember when the dog would dig up, like,
yes.
laundry? Like, people's clothes?
No, I don't remember that.
Yeah.
But
like
I remember that we'd try and go and help the grass by going into the laundry room and mixing a bunch of chemicals together. Like terrible kids. Because we were home alone and with no supervision and we just wanted to help our parents out with the yard and we'd cast a spell and we go, help the plants grow, and we throw it all around the yard and then the grass would die even furthermore and then would just never grow back. There were patches in the yard.
Thanks for the help. You know, I guess that's where it says that it's the thought that counts.
Yeah.
But you know what doesn't help grass? Chemicals and spells.
Well, we thought that maybe... Well, the colors were pretty.
Huh.
We never touched the bleach. If that
Good.
helps. Yeah.
Don't touch chemicals.
We did touch the other chemicals.
That causes mustard and they can have chemical reactions and kill you.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you'd think so. Well, at the age of 5...
5? You were not home 5 by yourself like that. You weren't. We didn't even live in that house at 5.
Yes, we did.
Whatever.
Okay, well then 7. Does that help you?
Yeah, that makes me feel better. Yeah, at 7 you were completely unsupervised.
7 with my 3-year-old sister.
So,
Yeah.
as Glenn is going to bed,
Wait, no. 7, 6, 5. 4-year-old sister.
as Glenn is going to bed, his dad turns off the lights, but he is all leave that on because he's freaked out about the hole. He did fill it in, but it's still creeping him out. Which, good on him for being able to fill giant holes off and on because I don't see any extra dirt, but whatever. He tells his dad the story that Terry told him about how a guy died when they were building his house. A
construction worker.
Yeah, and they sealed him up in the walls to avoid the police.
Which made me think of The Exorcist. No. Wrong movie. What's the one movie with where they build it on the graveyard and he's all like, you did this, where all of these houses are built on.
Poltergeist,
thank you.
Yeah.
What did I say the first time?
Exorcist. Is that a movie that you wanted? Is that the movie that you... How about The Omen?
No, I don't want to watch The Exorcist because at the age of 12, I thought that was going to be a good horror movie to watch with my friends, and it's not.
It's really, really existential, I think is a word that you'd say.
Exposed as well.
Mm.
We're 2 minutes into the film and already it's just horribly graphic. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was black and white.
How about No. It's not black and white.
No, the one I watched was black and white.
Well, then that's not the right one. The original's not black and white.
I watched the one that one's based off of. It was black and white. They go into the room and the girl's got black hair and she's down on the bed and with the doctor.
How about The Omen? Did anybody say about The Omen?
I don't know what that is. No,
okay.
It was like a slice of life movie. It was happier.
So
why'd you look at me like that?
I don't know.
You got the disbelief face. Stop trying to come up with movies.
Yeah. Apparently, Terry's mom is not around anymore.
Yeah, that was a good shift.
And apparently, Terry is weird now because of it.
No, he's not weird now.
The dad said that.
The dad said, yes. That actually was his words, I think.
Yeah.
Well, he said if he acts out, just remember it's because his mom's dead.
Yeah, he said he's weird now. Since you know how he's been weird since his mom died. So if he acts out, just remember.
He's not a good parent.
No.
How are you going to describe it? The same way?
I probably wouldn't put it off on the poor kid. I'd say, hey, you know what? Just be nice to him and deal with him.
Deal with them.
More ominous music plays, and Glenn looks at the creepy bugs that are in the jar that Terry caught, and they seem to die, which was the whole conversation.
Over the span of time.
Yeah.
Well, how long can they live in the...
That's the whole point.
Yeah.
You can't. So
they were living.
Yeah. They were... We're not dying. The next day, the parents are leaving and saying their goodbyes.
Did you ever collect bugs?
I tried to, but... Yeah. So I collected fireflies when we were in Georgia, because in Florida we didn't have fireflies. And they're like, you gotta poke holes. So I poked holes, but the poke holes were too big, so all the fireflies just crawled out the stinking holes. And I got mad. And I said, I'm not doing this anymore. And I quit. And that's how I faced life. That was a life.
They say that psychopaths or serial killers start off with torturing small animals.
What kind? I didn't torture them.
No,
that's true.
This goes into my story.
Ooh, okay. This is about you.
Ladybugs.
Yeah.
When I was in elementary school, we had this recess period that, I kid you not, lasted 4 hours. We would go outside and we'd just run around and nobody watched us. And we would just be out there. This giant yard. And there was a playground and this very specific tree. And it was playground and track and then everything. It was this giant football field area of things to do. And I usually stayed by the playground.
Yeah.
But there was a tree and this big green field with nothing in it. And ladybugs all the time.
Okay.
And I was convinced that they only liked me and nobody else. And because I had a little song that I would sing, I'd be like, and then they'd come out, and I'd find them, and then I would take 25 of them, and take them back into the school with me, and then suffocate them. Because I'd put them in my backpack, I put them in my desk, I put them in other people's hair, and then I'd take them to Taekwondo with me, and I'd be like, oh, look at this baggie I have of ladybugs, and they were all dead. All of them.
What did you do with
And I kept doing it.
Oh, well.
Because Because I was like, maybe this time they'll live.
So you're telling me you're a sickie?
Well, young me was. I wouldn't do anymore. I hate insects. They make me sick. I don't want to touch them. They got creepy legs. Things shouldn't have more than 4 legs.
Even 4 legs is questionable. Cats.
Yeah, speaking of, the cat didn't come down.
Thank God. I don't need the cat down here assaulting me again. You know, I listened to that episode and the cat assaults me and I yell in the mic. I'm like, ah! Because the cat, like, literally, I
started crying.
I know you did.
It was so funny.
Stupid cat.
I watched it happen.
Cat's like, look at me.
Cat stretched his little hand up, put it right on your back.
And just right inserted claws.
On your soft spot.
Right in the, yes. Right in the soft spot. So, the parents say no parties, but that night Al throws a huge party with all kinds of older kids. Like drinking beer older kids.
That's how I typically do.
Yeah. The dog is walking around eating junk food, so Al kicks him upstairs to find Glen. Glen is still messing around with the dead bugs in the jar, and Terry yells at Angus, telling him he stinks, which, poor Angus.
Hey, look, Terry's mom died.
Yeah, right.
he's been a little weird.
Glen tells how Angus is really old, and then the boys bust open the good.
What's the exact age?
The geode. What?
How old did he say?
97.
97.
Yep. He bust open the geode, and smoke comes out of it. Not a good sign. But
it also LED lights start flashing out of it, like a raves going on. You know that one episode of Adventure Time where it's like the party bear, they're inside the monsters. Yeah, I think about that a lot.
Oh,
what I wouldn't give.
So, this one's all sparkly and weird, though, and some type of words appear on the magnet pad that Glen decides to recite.
That made no sense. Why did words appear on the magnet pad from the GOA?
I don't know.
You know,
but it caused the hole in the backyard to start smoking again.
Demons.
Yeah. Downstairs, the kids are telling spooky stories, and the boys are eavesdropping on them.
So was the hole filled and then unfilled?
It kept filling and unfilling. Yeah. Yes. Several times.
Yeah.
Some weird girl starts talking about levitation and how it really works if you believe.
What do you think of The Craft?
Yeah.
We haven't done that yet.
Ooh, we could.
We could. I think we have it up there, maybe.
We have it upstairs.
Upstairs,
yep.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So they try to lift this guy and can't. So he calls Glen over and they decide to try and levitate him. Which they actually do, and he starts to float off and freaks out, ripping a light out of the wall. Which is fair.
Yeah, I probably would freak out as well.
Yeah, because you're floating, and that's freaky. He cries and runs off embarrassed by the situation, but really, that was cool. I mean, man, could you imagine all of a sudden floating up in the air above everybody? I'd freak out, but I'd be like, man, did you see me? I was floating. Sorry.
What you laughing at? Which one resonates with you the most?
The one that when he steps on it and he goes, and he keeps doing it, and it's that's what's one.
I bet they felt like baby sausages.
They look like they feel, and they get like their arms kept getting caught and ripped off, and then turning into little clay and going under the door.
That's such a weird thing.
Al and Terry try to calm him down, but Glen wants to call his parents. Al makes a deal that Terry can sleep over if he doesn't call, and he agrees. That night, Terry goes to use the restroom, and Glen is watching the freaky giant bugs all over his windows, like swarming.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you what, the moths would have to be thrown out the window. I'm not keeping that in my room.
No, but they're all over the window, too. Like,
oh, yeah.
And they're just like with the light going off and all that stuff. I'm like, this is horrible. How do you, I couldn't sleep with that. I'm not sleeping here. Yeah. He's clearly a bit scared of the situation. Unfortunately for Terry, he is walking back to the room.
This is awful because nowhere else in this movie are there hallucinations of things.
No, not to that extent.
No, not at all. And
yeah, he sees his dead mother come in the front door saying that she loves him and needs him. He goes to her thinking it's real. Meanwhile, Glen can see things pressing around behind his walls, which is creepy.
I had to pause the movie at that because I was sitting there like, is that Terry's mom? And like I was like, is that his mom? And then I said, that's bleeped up. That's messed up, man.
Yeah.
That's not okay.
Because poor Terry finds that it's not his mom that he is hugging. It's Angus, and he's dead.
the dog died. I was like, what the hell's happening?
He just chucks it onto the floor. He's just all, chuck.
So this is what I said.
Yeah.
I said, is that his mom? That's messed up. Wall shifting. Did the dog die? Terry's life sucks. That was my process.
You know what?
Those are my notes.
Terry gets to do whatever Terry wants to, in my opinion. Because he's having a rough go of it.
I'm not recovering from that.
So the next day, Terry is leaving for a bit, but we'll be back later. Terry gets home, finds a note from his dad. He's gone on business. And the house is pretty trashed.
Garbage. His life sucks.
So things suck for Terry. I mean, he just starts eating old pizza. Who knows how long that's been there?
And it was already eaten.
Yes.
It was crust.
And it's just sitting out. It's not even up. It's not like it's oh, I put this in the fridge for you, Terry. I had to go on business. Here's $20. It's just hey, dubs.
Yeah.
It's sorry, mom's dead.
Clearly things aren't good.
Quit dancing with the dog.
Not dancing with the dog.
Glen and Al discuss Angus, and Glen once again wants to call his parents and get over it. Al is like, no dice though. Terry is rocking it out in his room, which he's allowed to do whatever he wants, to some hard rock, and it reaches a point where it has a speech about the old gods ruling the earth. He takes out the album and looks at the writing and sees that the writing is on the album and the same of what appeared on the magnetic pad. He also makes a connection with the geode and demons and the gate, and that they can come to our world through that gate. So, pretty convenient. I know that you're always talking about lazy writing, but I thought that was pretty cool that he's he's got a little bit of a devil worshiper album, and oh, by the way, whoops. Glen is still talking about calling his parents about Angus as well as the levitation, but gets pissed and runs off because Al's friends suck. Al says she has to take care of Angus, but this dude Eric is I'll take care of the body. So Al decides to go to the mall again, leaving Glen at home.
Look, if I got a dead dog the size of a small toddler, and you're gonna say that you're gonna take that to somewhere for me, I'm gonna at least give you a date. You
get a date.
Yeah.
That dog was bigger than a small toddler.
Look, I didn't want to say a 12-year-old, but that dog was the size of the painting up there.
He was pretty big. That was a husky dog. It wasn't a husky, but it was a husky dog. Yeah, which had some, and we'll bring that up later. It looked like it smelled.
It did look like it smelled,
which I bet it did.
Probably
which they
it was
even
97,
and just hairy. It just looked.
I bet it was gassy.
You stink.
I bet it was constant pooting.
Probably. Especially eating all that trash.
He's eating the moths.
Oh, gosh. No, please. Those giant moths. They were so big.
Protein.
Oh, protein. Get out of here.
Protein.
So as I said, Eric said he'll take care of the body. Al goes to the mall. Glen is all home alone, looking out the window at her all sad, and then looks at pictures of Angus and him and Al, and he's just sad.
He had a whole sketchbook.
Yeah, he did. It was sad. So he's pretty torn up about the situation. So he gets out a gift that he had gotten for Al for the Thunderbolt, which is used to launch the rockets, but he tosses it and he doesn't care anymore. Have you ever been interested in those things at all? The little electric rocket things and all? Yeah, anything?
I always thought fireworks were illegal.
No. The rockets that they, the Thunderbolt, that it hooks onto the 5 and it goes, and it shoots up in the air.
Like a firework.
That's not a firework, though.
But it's like a firework, right?
Okay, I'll give you that.
So
but it doesn't blow up.
I always thought it was in relation to fireworks, and therefore illegal, and therefore not even a thought that I would have had.
They're really cool. I used to really dig them when I was a kid. They were really neat.
Wow.
This movie actually...
you ever think about, I had a lot of the time those guys with the parachutes, and you like flung them in the air, and then they had a little, and they came down.
You wrapped it around him and you fling it up and it goes, and then he floats down. I love those guys.
I like those a lot.
Those are cool. Those were always fun.
Hard and it rips.
Yeah, and it rips, and then you just
made out of paper.
because then it's garbage, and you're like, oh, you try and retie the string, but it doesn't work. It just rips through the hole again, and then you just throw it in the trash because screw it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Therapy.
Not this time.
We're not doing that.
Your own therapy.
I got a bill in the mail from the last episode. Someone's like, if I have to listen to you, I'm gonna therapy bill. You didn't help me. So
that's true. You did not help.
Yeah.
I'm still damaged.
So he hears this buzzing noise and decides to go and investigate it. And he literally is in the same place where he was in his dream. He realizes the buzzing is the bug zapper killing all the giant bugs, so he unplugs it, and then the hole once again opens and is smoking. Stop. Terry shows up freaking out Glen, and he tells Glen that he has demons.
You got demons.
You got the demons. I got demons running all through me. That's a Beetlejuice reference.
I know.
Oh, you knew it. I'm sorry.
You didn't give me a chance. You didn't give me a chance.
I didn't.
You didn't.
I'm sorry. Ruined it.
Yeah, don't be sorry. Be right.
Be right. Be right. So, the trier. I made a new word, trier. Use it in a sentence. I can't.
I'm gonna coin it.
Oh.
Oh, damn it. That's what I was gonna do. I was gonna go, oh, look. And you said it already. Damn.
They try to cover up the hole with wood from the treehouse.
That's not gonna keep the demons out. I'm sorry.
Well, they put the door right over it, and I'm like, well, that's really not going to do anything. But
if I've learned anything from anything, it's that wood doesn't really stop things,
especially demons.
Yeah, can't even stop the insects.
No, but it was like the crappiest. It's like, here, let's just do this and cover it. Oh, that's good.
It wasn't even connected. Like those things are gonna push it off.
No, then there were holes. Anyway, so Eric finds that the vet is closed, so he has to do something else with the body. Terry tells Glen about the band that has all the lyrics about summoning demons and opening the gate. It turns out that the time that it can be done is like now. And that they basically opened the gate having dug the hole, getting the splinter, and bleeding in it.
We didn't talk about the splinter,
and
but that was rough.
Oh, I didn't. I skipped over it.
It went into his thumb awful.
It was a big piece of wood, man. And he's like, and I'm like,
and then he just ripped it out.
I'm telling you, if I had gotten that, there'd have been expletives.
I'm just gonna be like, I can't do anything for the rest of the day. I can't do anything for the rest of the year.
Laid up in bed, all sick and white.
Yeah. My finger.
My finger.
Is your hand broken? No.
I received a splinter. It was the size of the giving tree. For reference, well, somebody has to know how big it is.
And all it did was take from me.
Oh. That's such a sad story.
In the arms of the angel, fly away.
Yeah. For only 5 cents a day, you too can support Beth. Sad Beth in the snow. So, they talk about how the ritual is not complete for opening the gate because the sacrifice wasn't put into the hole, so it's just cracked. He plays the record backwards, and it tells him how to close the gate.
It goes. Right.
Meanwhile,
this isn't funny.
Oh. So, Eric and all of his infinite wisdom decides to throw Angus in the hole and dip out. So, I mean,
you're not getting a date after that.
No, now you don't get a date.
Now you don't get the date.
Terry and Glen try to recite the words to close the gate and are interrupted by Al. They tell her what happened, and she asks what's under the door. They lift the wood, and it turns out the hole is sealed. So it looks all good again.
It's not.
No. Again, not. Al comes bearing gifts of a rocket to launch. Terry tells of how there will be 2 human sacrifices once they come into the world, and that only a spirit wielding the power of love and light can close the gate. Al's friends show up to hang out and have a sleepover, and Glen finds the thunderbolt that Al had hidden. Because she had said that it was gone, but apparently she just put it in the closet with the father's gun.
I've done that. We had, well, not that. We had a cat toy that you guys had, like, just gotten for William. And a cat that's no longer here. And...
he's good, though.
Yeah, he's fine. But it was one of those ones where it's like, it hangs down from... Actually, I have two of these kinds of stories. It hangs down from, like, the rope. You, like...
Yeah.
It's got the rod and the string and the thing at the bottom. Yeah. Well, I was smacking someone with it. And being a jerk and basically pulled on it a little too hard. And it snapped.
Yeah.
Right off. It was right after Christmas, actually, because it wasn't what you guys had gotten. It's actually what somebody else had gotten for the cat.
Oh.
From, like, the little school things.
Yeah.
You know? And I felt really bad about it. So I put it in the closet. And kept it there until we moved.
Wow.
But then we got the cat tower out here for a little while that we had for the two cats that we have now.
Yeah.
Oops.
Wow.
And there was a little stringy bird.
Yes.
And and accidentally, because I was messing with it, I was like pulling it down, watching it, I ripped it off. I just laid it down.
Yeah.
So it seemed like the cat had done it. Cat did not do it.
The cat did not do it.
It was a frame.
We used to... So, two cool things.
Ooh.
William the cat used to play fetch with us, which I thought was really cool.
I taught him that.
I thought that was the coolest thing
That
ever.
cat
That the
was
cat
the coolest
actually
cat.
fetch. And two, a cat that is now passed, Beezus, when I was a teenager, me and my sister owned him. We used to actually thumbtacked that same type of thing, a bungee, a ball and a bungee, and I used to pull it down to the ceiling, and I pull it down to the ground, and I would let go of it, and it would fling, and he would jump after it and do these backflips and stuff like that. Hours of entertainment for me. Yeah.
I miss William. He was a really cool cat.
He was,
man. He fetched. He would play with you on the
stairs.
He
lives with Heather. I mean, he's
happy.
He's got a friend. He lives a good life.
He would just...
It's just...
Like, you know when they talk about, like, you have cats and, like, that resonate with you? That was my cat.
Me too.
Know?
And he was a cool
And he just
cat.
laid with you and you would just
cool
sleep.
Cat. Yep.
Like, I would pull the, like, covers up over him and we just... There's pictures of that.
Yes, absolutely. And then, you'd see him in the middle of the night and he'd just be like, I mean, all right, dude, stay where you're at.
Stay what you're doing. He was a fat cat, but he would haul ass to get to you, though, you know? I meant in the donkey sense.
Haul mule.
Haul mule. You know, like, people go up the stairs. That was my bad. I trained him to do that by accident.
Yeah.
But running up the stairs and come after your ankles.
Yes. So, Al's friends come in and give Glen heck, as per usual, sibling interactions in the 80s, I guess, because every time that her friends come around Glen, they're really mean to him. And she's just like, cut it out. And it's like, bro, your friends are jerks to me. Why do I got to be the
she said, cut it out, you guys. It was a equal. Both of you cut it out.
That night, Glen is looking at images from the album and reading about the demons, and then everybody pretty much goes to sleep. Well, we then see the shadow of a demon thing, and Glen is awakened by the curtains flying open. He looks and sees the bug zapper is plugged in again, and then sees moths all over his window, and the window busts, and they fly in and attack him.
You want to know what I'm not doing after that happens?
Going back in that room.
No, I'm passing away right on the spot.
Done. I'm done.
Ooh.
So he goes to Al to tell her to wake up Terry, or to go back in the room, and they go to wake up Terry. And Terry then comes in the room, and they find that it's not Terry in the bed, but it's Angus.
That dog has been through so much.
What a sick joke. I mean, the demons are jerks, man. And let's put this dead dog in this bed. So then, this is what I was talking about with, like, stuff coming out of right and left hand. Big, giant, slimy hands come out from under the bed and attack Al, but they get away. I like how it pulled her sock off. Yeah. Like, sock, got your sock. Everyone goes to bolt out the front door. When they do, Glen sees his parents and he runs to his dad.
This was awful. You want to know what... Okay, you want to talk about trauma? I'm not recovering from seeing this.
And this is my point. I was 9 when I watched this as a kid. So understand, I was 9 years old and I'm watching this. He runs out. Unfortunately, it's not his parents. And his dad's like, you've been misbehaving. And when he tries to fight his dad off, who's choking him, he melts all over him, and his head plops off. And it doesn't just fall off, it splats.
Oh, God, it was
horrible. So, it was horrible. I can feel that when I watch it now. Yeah, fine. You watch it and you see the graphics and this, that, and the other. When I was 9, this movie scared the bejesus out of me. That kind of stuff like that. Running to the people that are... And the mother's like sitting there laughing at him like, ah! Bruh.
But the demons knew how to do it.
The demons did it. Oh, they put the dog in the bed. They traumatized poor Terry with the same... That's a jerk move because their plan was for him to find that dog. When he comes back to bed and, hey, remember Mom?
Yeah.
She's in the bed. Remember the dog you were hugging out? Hey, PTSD. Sorry, Terry. So they all go back in the house and are freaked. Doors start to slam in the house and all the lights go out. You're good?
Yeah.
Al decides to light candles and her friends act all ridiculous, which that was the part that was kind of killer clownsy for me, is their acting. I was like, They decide to go out into the backyard. Why? And Al goes to look around.
Where else are you going to go? Front yard has dead parents.
I'm staying in the house.
Inside the house has the dog. Outside has moths.
True. I guess really this is their only option.
And inside the house you had the phone melt into the wall. And
that hasn't happened yet.
Oh.
So, but everyone else is watching as Al goes out. And the little demon things show up and start to chase her. Which...
so weird.
Their little faces.
They look so weird.
Blinking at them and stuff, and I'm like, ah! She makes it back to the house, and one of them's arms gets caught in the door and like falls off, and then like turns into little things and scurries back under the door. They're gonna call the police, but then the phone starts to ring. She answers it, and it's the dad again saying they've been bad, and the phone melts after it catches on fire. Terry says they have to close the gate correctly, and that they have to get the spell book that is in the basement. Why was it in the basement? I don't recall it being in the basement, but for whatever reason, it's in the basement.
Oh, God. The effects of this movie were really, really good.
Yeah. Gross.
Yeah. Gross, but really, really good.
Freaky.
Oh, shoot. You can buy it.
I'm good.
The little demon dude?
Yeah, I'm good.
You don't want it?
How much is he?
I don't know. Too much.
I would have one and set it on the shelf, but then
I don't want it.
Walk out.
They're
at the middle
ugly.
Of the night. Yeah, they're horrible.
They don't like the critters. Those guys were cute.
Yeah, you're right. Did you notice how in the pictures as they're walking down, like it had him sitting there, but all of the family was dead?
Yeah. And he was like, because he was like, hey Al, and she was like, yeah, what's up? And he was like, never mind.
Right. I appreciated that kind of like a little attention to detail that they did. Because they had to take that picture, which meant everybody had to get in the mind. Okay, look dead. You look happy.
That's true. I didn't think about that.
They make it down and find the album, but it starts to burn and disappears into ash. So that's not good. They decide to read from the Bible, smart, and go to the gate and try to close it. Terry talks about the 2 human sacrifices that are needed, so Al's friends decide to go back in the house and hide. The trio make it to the gate and read from the Bible, and it seems to start helping, like everything's kind of sucking back in to the gate that's once again opened. Then Terry gets cocky and falls down the hole before he can finish the scripture. And he falls a far way.
I would have just let them have Terry. And I liked how the guy was like, hi.
Yeah.
Hi.
He went, hi.
Hey.
Yep. Hey. One of the demon things is there, and then others show up and start biting.
Oh, an ugly biting.
Like it just runs out and bites his leg. And then the other one comes from behind him and starts like biting his neck and everything like that. And he's like tossing them all off and everything. They start
Terry went through it.
He did. They start to try and drag him off. Like they're literally trying to pull him away. I'm like, where are you trying to take him?
The stew pot.
But exactly. But he manages to fight them off. and then use the rope that Glen lowers to get out. Glen does try to finish reading, but it only seems to make them mad. Like Terry's like, stop, you're just making them mad. They get Terry out, and he continues reading from the Bible, and then he throws the Bible into the gate, and it explodes and seems to close again. So they celebrate that it's gone and run to the house to tell Al's friends. So again, gate's closed, right?
Right.
Al finds them hiding in a closet, and they tell them that it worked. Unfortunately, the front door is open, and they get scared, but it's Eric and other dudes. Al kicks them out as well as the girls, and then checks the room for the monsters. Because, that's what you do. Where the giant arms were coming out from under the bed, you immediately go and put your head down there.
I'm leaving the house.
Right, I would have gone with Eric and said, hey, remember how you got rid of the dog for me? Take me on a date. I'm ready. And he actually kind of said that. She's not ready for me. How full of yourself are you, Eric? And I don't want to go out front either because Milty Dad might be out there. And I'm not good for that.
Well, I'm just going. We're going to go stay out somewhere else.
Yeah.
We're just leaving. That's it.
That's fair.
We're going to go to Terry's. His dad's not home.
He's on business.
His mom is not home either.
Oh, rip. He gets there, he pulls back his blanket. Angus, shoot.
Shoot.
Yeah.
Shoot.
So.
That was loud. That was a hard
Whatever.
It's gonna hurt ears.
I'm sorry.
I apologize.
I'm sorry. So everything seems back to normal, and Al says she is going to get cleaned up while Terry and Glen watch TV and mess around with the geode. Just about that time, a body pops out of the wall, which Glen says is the worker man from Terry's story. And he's like, I made that up. Not so much. He attacks them and takes Terry into the wall with him, and it seals back up. So that sucks.
But I'm just going to let them have Terry. Clearly, they really want Terry.
But you just got out of the hole. You think everything's better, and now you get sucked into the wall.
I'm just going to let them have Terry. I'm going to bed.
That's fair. Right. I like how he just hid in the corner, man. He was like, huh.
He's like 5.
I think he was 12.
Oh, well, either way. He didn't look 12.
Yeah.
He looked 5.
Well, Glen goes to check on Al and finds that things are not good in the house. He finds the strange writing all over the walls. He goes to get Al, who sees the worker man in the reflection, and her reaction to that is not how my reaction would have been. If I see the reflection of somebody in the mirror, and they're definitely not behind me, I don't stay in that room. I leave immediately. I leave.
I'm probably not going to move.
Yeah.
I'd probably be scared. I'd be all, this is my life.
So the worker man attacks them, and Al hits him with a radio in the head, and he falls and explodes. Ooh. Neat. And he falls, and he turns into little demons.
Yeah, and they just don't know what to do. They're just looking around. They're like, "Oh, where are we?"
Yeah, he did. That is how that happened. Glen feels that it's all his fault and trips out, leaving Al there holding a door, and they're chewing through the door at him.
Oh yeah, little Beaver Boys.
He goes to get his dad's gun.
That'd be a really cool band name.
Beaver Boys.
Beaver Boys.
I would listen to him.
How much wood can a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood?
We're beavers. Beavers. All right.
That was really nice.
So when he goes to get the dad's gun, Terry's in the gun case.
and he's got beaver mouth.
And he bites Glen on the hand.
It was like a soft bite,
and
though.
he doesn't stop biting him on the hand.
No, it was just to hold him there. He
Yeah.
wasn't trying to make any damage.
Al comes to save him and stabs Terry in the eye with a Barbie doll leg.
So you want to talk about trauma, okay?
Yeah.
The dad's face melting off. Okay, I could have recovered from that. It was a hallucination. I know that now. However, Terry, who I'm going to think is dead. Right. And you have the visuals of your sister stabbing him in the eyeball with a Barbie doll. Yeah. That's not good.
No.
I'm not recovering from that. I'm not recovering from that. First of all, I'm never going to touch any Barbies ever again. Second of all, I'm going to have really bad eye trauma.
Yeah.
I don't want to look at anybody's eyes. I don't want to have any friends named Terry. And all your moms better be alive.
You're going by Terrence from this moment forward.
Terrence.
All your moms are alive.
Alive. Yep.
So they start to load the gun while the demons are coming, but then the demons leave. From behind the clothes, the worker man shows up and tosses Glen out the door, and then takes Al into the wall as well. So
at this point, I'm just gonna give up.
Yeah, which is fair. I mean, that's a fair response to all of this.
I've got no more.
So now there are 2 human sacrifices. So things are really looking suck for old Glen. Then Glen finds the letters he wrote to Al and remembers that love and light can close the gate. So he realizes what he's got to do is get the Thunderbolt, which 2 and 2, I guess.
I guess, whatever. Convenient.
He starts to run upstairs to get the Thunderbolt while the gate literally opens up in the middle of the house. He tries to light it, but the wind is so heavy he can't get a match lit. More little demons start to show up and dance and celebrate as the giant demon.
Dancey dance.
They're like, as the giant demon thing comes up from the hole, which I guess is an old god.
Yeah.
Glen comes face to face with this thing that looks to want to destroy him, but when he holds Glen up by the arm, Glen puts his hand up in a defensive move, and the demon touches his head.
It takes pity on him.
And pieces out.
So I actually had to pause the movie.
Yeah. Because
this is a fun fact, but I've seen this. No, yeah, and I knew, before it even showed his hand.
Yeah.
I remember I saw this when I was
Little.
4 or 5, and I remember I thought about this part of the movie.
Yeah.
Over and over and over again. Throughout the rest of my life. I think about this movie all the time. And I didn't even know that I was thinking about this because I remember the absolute horror I felt inside when I watched him stab the eye in his hand. Because I remember him looking at the eye, and I would just randomly think, I would look at my hand and be like, oh, it makes me think of that movie with the eye and the thing. And I had no idea it was this. And I remembered instantly, I hadn't seen any of the other part of the movie.
Yeah.
Just this one part. That's all I remembered.
Yeah.
Probably because of the trauma it gave me.
Yeah.
But it was before he even looked at the hand, I was like, no way. I was like, I know exactly what it's gonna be. And then it was eyeball in the hand. And I was like, yep.
It's that movie.
It's this movie.
No.
So I thought that was interesting.
Well, that's cool. Yeah. So probably me watching it at some point in time, you watched it with me as well. And then, that's neat.
Yeah.
So, Glen looks at his hand, as you said, and sees that it has an eye on the palm.
He screams.
And he is sickened by this.
Yeah. I would be too.
I would too. He looks out the window and sees that it appears that hell on earth is taking place from the gate, which is opened again, by the way. He feels responsible and breaks down a bit. He sees the doll from his dream, as well as in the fact that the moths are still alive in the bottle again. And gets pissed. He also stabs out the eye with a piece of glass that's in his hand. And did you like how the eye was it was terrified eye, it knew it was coming?
It was kind of sad.
Yeah, it was gross, man.
There wasn't really much with the eye.
No.
It was
the mark of him
cover art.
Yeah, but it's freaky. I mean, it's freaky enough. It doesn't really do a whole bunch. It just means that he's the marked one, which is why he didn't get killed, but whatever. He sees the launch mechanism for the Thunderbolt and sets up to launch it, but it falls downstairs. He can hear his sister yelling help, which would be depressing.
I was thinking that the parents probably weren't going to be very happy about the shape of the house.
No. So he gets downstairs and sets up to launch the rocket. He gets it all set up, but he needs batteries. He takes the batteries from the flashlight and sets it up just as the demon shows back up. He takes the rocket and fires it into the demon, destroying it, but not before it grips him up and then blows him out the front door.
Again.
Not just but he goes, and he's I don't think you're going to live very well from that kind of, but whatever.
Yeah, you're going to live, just not well.
Yeah. He sees that it looks to have worked as a bunch of fireworks go off from the house, seeming to close the gate and bring light back to the world. He returns to his house front door, where it's all smoky, and there's a giant hole in the floor now. He hears noise from the closet, and it's Angus. Yay!
Yay!
Al and Terry also come out of the closet, which is good. And Terry looks to have both of his eyes, so that's fun. They embrace each other and go out the front door to see the sun and sit down on the stairs. Terry asks if Glen thinks his parents will notice, and Glen says, "Give me a break." In the backyard, the gate is sealed, and Angus even finds Terry's lost shoe, because I forgot that he said, "Oh, I lost my shoe," when he was getting pulled back up the hole, and the movie fades to black. So there we have The Gate. Your overall thoughts on the film and the experience?
Well, I thought it was a pretty weird movie, but it was an enjoyable watch.
That's great. That's great. Would you recommend it to a friend?
I would.
mean, yeah?
Yeah.
For an 80s kind of cheese. I mean, does it have some cheese factor to it? Do you agree with me that it's
Well, I think between Angus dying and Terry's dead mom.
Yeah. Sorry.
It's pretty funny movie, yeah.
It's
I was to describe the movie. Definitely humor is what I would say.
Did it have some parts that you kind of like, ugh? I mean, like with this
with
and the
dad's
other, I mean,
face
you weren't expecting
molting off, and then and then the demon things.
Yeah,
they definitely weren't cute.
No, I did like when he was down in the hole and he just keeps kicking that one, and it just keeps going. So it keeps vibrating really fast.
Who was your favorite character?
My favorite character would be poor Terry. I think that he carries the movie, which is probably why he's the one that came back in part 2.
That's crazy. I thought that the person who carried the movie was Angus. That was my favorite character.
Angus. You know what? I appreciate Angus actually shows up the entire movie and just keeps showing up.
Yeah.
In the bed, at the end, in the beginning. He's 97. You know, he's at the party.
Who's your least favorite character?
I think Al.
Yeah, I said Al as well.
Did you? Just because, you know...
Lackluster character.
Be my big sister or don't be my big sister. And I appreciate the fact that she was going teenager and she's trying to grow up and stuff, but she's still whatever. But what are we doing with you? What's your character going for here? So,
what's your favorite scene?
And she reminded me of the sister, from Honey, I Shrunk the Kids a little bit. So, which kind of had that same thing. Favorite scene is going to be between him kicking the little demon and it freaking out when he's down, and Angus dancing with the mom. When it's supposed to be the mom, but he looks and it's Angus, and he just chucks Angus down on the ground.
Mine was the demons dancing and then turning into the big dude.
Yeah.
Red rum.
That's awesome. So overall, you enjoyed it. You not a great movie, whatever, but you enjoyed the experience. Well, that makes me happy. How many
moves did you give it?
I give this movie a solid 3.5 moves.
That's what I gave it.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not.
It's
campy. It's fun. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's 80s fun.
It didn't blow my mind.
It's not,
but it didn't disappoint me.
But it's fun to sit and watch it now. Mm-hmm. And remembered how scared I was when I was 9 and watched this movie. Like, this kept me up, and I could not watch this late night by myself. I was that scared of this stuff going on. Because of the parents factor, because of dreams that I had where my parents would give me over to, like, Men in Black and stuff like that. Never really told you about the dreams that I had with that. No. People used to come to the house in my dreams and ask for me, and my parents would give me over. Yeah.
In dreams or in real life?
In dreams.
Oh.
But it was so real.
Maybe you were time traveling.
I don't know, dude. That's weird. Why would I be time traveling?
Well, I don't know. I had the dream once where the guy pulled me out of it midway. Like, I had a dream the night before where that it ended with me and a friend from my actual life walking down the street. And then the next night, it was the same street that we were walking down. And we ran into these group of girls that were like, come to our party. Maybe us and these other dudes. And like we get there and they're all like older than us. And I'm like, we don't belong here.
Yeah.
And we're in like a classic like basement type area where like the stairs go up to the room, like to the door you can't see. Like, well, somebody knocks on the door and one of the girls goes up to it and you just hear a chainsaw activate and she gets blood splattered all the way down the stairs.
Gosh.
So I'm like dreaming this and it's vivid and I'm like looking, I'm like, oh my god. I was like, I gotta get out of here.
Yeah.
I ran into the bathroom and I'm sitting here like, I'm gonna die. I'm straight up gonna die. Why would I run into the bathroom? And then like midway the dream cuts.
Yeah.
And I'm in a new place. I'm in like this white room, but it's not like blinding white. It's just like everything's white.
Okay.
But it's not like you can't see.
Yeah.
And the dude from, like one of the dudes from the party was there and he was like, look, I'm not supposed to tell you this, but I'm a dream keeper. I keep over the dreams and I keep over your dreams. Here's this giant monitor thing that had like all the dreams ever on it.
Weird.
Yeah, like literally,
Matrix
it was
that's
insane.
Cool.
And he's like, I just didn't. Yeah, he's like, you've been so stressed lately in your real life, and I felt really bad. And I was like, he was like, I was trying to, like, give you nice vibes and everything, like trying to give a party and everything. He was like, your anxieties took over, and like the monster came out, and then you ran into the bathroom. And he was like, but it's cool, and we just talked. And, like, I got out my Instagram, I was like, yeah, I draw, and we were showing each other, like, art and shit, like, and it was nice. I'm sitting here with this dude who's, like, a dream guy, and I'm, like, and then I woke up, and I was like, I feel like I was not supposed to experience that.
Wow.
You know? So stuff like that happens, and
That's
I'm like,
really cool.
Can you explain that? I don't think so.
See, I actually, this is so off topic. I remember hearing things, people being outside my window of my bedroom when I was a kid, like out there, like talking to me and stuff like that, like weird, but they weren't really there, like that kind of stuff. And I had a really weird childhood.
It's like schizophrenia.
It might be. Maybe it was just me, but
we're just messed up people.
Yeah, that's a really neat dream. That's really
crazy.
Cool that you got
I've
pulled
had
out.
Dreams where, because my thing with it is people who snore shouldn't be able to enter REM sleep, or at least not for long periods of time like that. Because they say you have like 9 dreams every night or something like that, like a bunch of them. But I snore, and I didn't know this until like last year, the year before.
Yeah.
And I was like, I shouldn't be able to have deep dreams like that. But sometimes I have dreams that are so vivid, or like borderline lucid dreams where I'm sitting there and I'm experiencing it and I'm like, I know I'm dreaming, but holy crap.
I'm always curious if dreaming and dreams ability and stuff like that is hereditary. Because it's because we have, both your mother and I have seriously vivid dreams. Like my dream last night was almost to the point of like I'm sitting there trying to like, is this memory or is it dream?
Right, because it's supposed to be the Freddie Mercury thing is the day. Like it's supposed to be your thoughts, feelings, and things you see throughout your day that come together at night. Because like Cody from work was telling me about this. Yeah. Because he was like, as if you smoke like pot, it shuts your brain down so you can't
your hypothalamus,
see it,
I believe,
or whatever. But if you stop smoking, like the next 2 days, you drain like crazy because it's like all of the stuff from like that week catch up with you.
Oh wow!
And you dream all about that. But I'm sitting here, I'm thinking, nowhere in my entire life had I ever sat there and been like, "Yep, dream dude in the dream world," and because like the night before I had I didn't have any superpowers, but I was like in a sky high kind of school, and they were putting kids like against each other, and they were like, you're gonna have to go fight this guy, and I'm sitting here like, I'm gonna get killed. I don't have any powers. So I got seriously hurt, and they sent me home with my friend. She's like, oh, I'll go with her. And I woke up, and I was like because my thing, the thing was my friend and I had like this thing where we'd tell each other about our dreams. And so it made sense that she was in mine. Because I was like, yeah, whatever. And because I was talking to her about it at the end of it. And then, like, the next night, I'm going into it the same thing. These girls that come up to us, and we're at a party, and then it just doesn't make any sense to me. And then
what does that have to do with your week?
Right.
Yeah.
And as a child, I would have reoccurring nightmares. Because that's what also doesn't make sense. Why do you have reoccurring nightmares if that's what you experience throughout the day?
I've got places. There's a place that I have in a dream that sometimes I'm in this house that's on the farm. Sometimes I'm out in the distance of the land of the farm. I've been all the way out to the edge of this farm in this dream. I've been this land exists,
Yeah.
and it exists in my dream, and that's really weird to me. Recently, it's been this other stuff, and I'm not comfortable with it. To tell you the truth, the stuff that I've been dreaming about recently has been really weird. I think it's because of Tabby.
I realize like when I'm dreaming, because like when things get too hard for me to face, like in the dream, I'm like, okay, I know I'm dreaming. This isn't real.
Yeah,
chill out. There are certain dreams that I'll have, recurring dreams, and that as soon as I know I'm in it, I just start crying. Like, I start just, like, completely, like, this horrible feeling, because, like, I'll have zombie apocalypse dreams where I have to sit here and watch you and, like, everyone die, like, in front of me, and it's me running and, like, getting out of, like, places, or serial killer dreams where these people are coming and trying to hurt me, and I have to experience that horrible feeling. Or like the dream I had that one time where I was in the back of the car. And
Mr. Bean?
The Mr. Bean dream.
Yeah.
I will not watch anything with this guy. I had no problems with him. I didn't even care. I didn't really like him anyways. But sitting in the back of this limo that's like purple and blue tinted in the back because it's like nighttime, having the radio sputter things like in and out about like the Zodiac Killer and being like, what's the Zodiac Killer's favorite food? Guess now, call in and you'll win.
Yeah.
Or it's like, if you guess right, you won't die. And then having Mr. Bean turn around from the front, like the passenger side with a gun. Or no, he had a knife. And like threatening to, like, he was like, I'm gonna cut you. He didn't say, oh, is it the cat? Hi, cat. Like, being like, I'm going to, this is it. And then I'm, like, I just knew I was gonna die. And I didn't have anything to defend myself. And I'm just sitting here crying in the back seat. Like, I'm gonna die. Yeah, there's no explaining that.
Yeah.
There's no explaining.
And people
that.
want to be like, "Oh, well, it's because of this." No, dog. This is not because of that. All right.
Nope.
That was all. That's really cool though. Really good talk.
I think people enjoy. I think people, like something like a lot of the time people say that when you tell somebody else about your dream, they get bored and they're not really listening. But there's like certain dreams like that.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a lot in it. Or like when Michaela died, 2 or 3 days after we had gone to the funeral, like I'd met her mom like again and I had said everything. It was like, whatever. I had a dream where I was with friends and we were like, I like my car had an issue with it and I was like, I need to get home. I had like Tabby with me and I was like, well, I need to go to the store and then I need to get home. And I was like driving. We were lost. We kept like running through like little passages, and I was like, "You gotta get through the door." Like people were after us, and I was like, "You gotta get through this little hole in the wall." And we ended up at the store, and Michaela's mom was sitting at the table like eating soup, and I went up to her again. I was like, "I'm really sorry," and she was like, "Why are you sorry?" Like, well, you don't have any reason to be sorry. It's like you shouldn't even be sad.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's not fair. And I was like, I understand that my connection with her wasn't as strong as yours. I mean, you're her mother, obviously, and I only knew her for about 1.5 years. But that's not fair to me. Like, the day before she went, I had like sent her I have a cup pong thing.
Yeah. That
game will never be finished.
It's weird.
Yeah, and I like sometimes I come across that messages because I can't delete it.
Right.
And I go, that sucks, And so we left the mall or the store or whatever we were at, and I was driving home, and I was coming up upon our driveway, and she was there, like Michaela was there, and she was like, "Bro, you gotta stop stressing so much. Everything's good. Here's that thing you needed for your car.
Yeah.
I got your sister. I'll take her home." And I was like, it was like we were home already, so it was really weird.
Yeah.
So I'll take her home. Don't worry about it. You just fix your car. I'll be here. Everything's gonna be fine.
That's nice.
And I woke up.
It's a nice dream.
So yeah, and I feel like stuff like that happens. Like dreams have real connections to things.
I agree, man.
Like a lot, like when people talk about like shifting or the like out of body experience where you like take your soul out and you can go around the world and such.
Yeah.
Like baby, like I feel like that stuff is interesting. That you can meet people in dreams and dream together.
I agree. Very cool.
Yeah, I don't have anything else.
No, that's cool.
But trivia.
So trivia, The small demonic minions are played by actors in rubber suits and shot in forced perspective.
Really? I thought it was like claymation.
I did too.
Oh,
but
wow.
no, those are really little people. Well, they're really big people, but then
shrunk down and such.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's actor Stephen Dorff's debut film role. Where he played Glenn. So, and again, like he went on to act more. The other ones didn't really, as far as I know. So this made me laugh. When Eric was supposed to carry the body of Angus around the garden to be buried, the actor struggled to carry it because of the weight. So set designer John Baker brought it to a local taxidermist to have the organs removed to make it much lighter. Does that mean that they had a real dead dog that they were lugging around? And they decided...
Oh, God.
That's what I think.
That's horrible.
Yeah.
That's awful.
To have the organs removed. So they were using a really dead dog. And this is in Canada, so I don't know if that's a legal thing or not. But
I guess so.
Yeah.
That's horrible.
I thought that was... When I read that, I was like, hold up a second. What? So
God.
they had a real dead dog. So I don't
Poor
know if
Eric.
that means the one that was in the bed, the one that he was dancing with.
Oh, probably the entire time.
It was a real dead dog. Isn't that weird?
Oh gosh.
I know.
It sounds like a Muppet.
Why can't they just use a Muppet?
Why can't they just use Muppets?
So
That's awful.
yeah, I thought you would appreciate that one.
I don't appreciate that. That's horrible.
So that's all I've got. He left. The cat made a special appearance this episode 41, but he is left out. Do you have anything else for me,
No,
Miss Beth?
I do not. I am done for the night.
We're going to wrap this one up tonight then. I'd like to thank everyone for stopping by and listening to our 41st episode. We definitely appreciate it more than you can imagine. And of course, the best way to say you love us is to give us a 5-star review on iTunes. And again, that's not a beg. And I know that everybody always says that, but a lot of people want to know, like, I know that when I like something and I listen to something, or I do, like, I listen to a lot of other podcasts and stuff like that. And how can I help these guys out? You know what? I'm going to go leave a 5-star review for them because I know what it does for you in the charts and for up and comings and everything like that. And that's why we always say it. Not to beg. And heck, if you want to give a lower than 5-star, if you really feel that we don't deserve 5 stars, then go ahead. I mean, that's your prerogative. I'd be sad about it. Please tell us why. I'd much rather receive an email at the yesofyourpodcast@gmail.com than a lower than 5-star review and say, hey, this or that. Because that way it helps the show get better. 41 episodes in is crazy to me.
Yeah.
That is crazy. When you think about the
time.
movies, I look up there on the shelf and I look and I'm like, wow, we actually have to start doing something different for where we're keeping all the movies we watched.
What I'm worried about is that we're going to end up going through all like mainstream type movies.
Oh, there's so many more.
And it's like, because like we'll pick out movies that I've never heard of before. And I'm like, man.
But the thing is that there's so many movies that you haven't heard of. But I mean, obviously The Gate was huge. I mean, it did huge numbers when it came out. You just don't know it. Yeah. But it doesn't mean the Beastmaster. I know that you're like, meh, but that movie spawned a whole television show. But it's just
crazy to me. Is like stuff like what's a good example? Like movies that are from this day and age that people still talk about, like The Goonies. Yeah. Oh, you know, a good one would be The Sandlot. Yeah. Yeah. But like movies that I haven't even seen on like the TV referenced or in like YouTube videos, people referencing them, like things that aren't referenced. Like I knew what The Labyrinth was. Right. To a degree. But The Last Starfighter? Yeah. Pockets full of pansy, bro. Pocket full of pansy. I don't know what that means. It means pockets are empty.
I thought it was posies.
I don't know what it is, man. I have a very vivid memory of being in this daycare place, but it was a horrible room. And I remember that I was in trouble, and I had to have my back to a wall. And in these daycare places, a lot of the time we were telling scary stories. I have a lot of scary stories. Like people used to be like, "Oh, tell me a scary story." Like, One's about people putting on masks that they weren't able to take out again, like during Halloween, swing sets and people's in houses and radio station. I have a ton. But one of the times I had my back like facing away from the other kids and they were talking like to me, like or something, and they were explaining that song, the London Bridge is Falling Down song.
Oh yeah.
And they sat and I'm like 5, man, like 6 or 7. And or not 6, 5 or 6 and young. And like having this memory of these kids voices just being like, yeah, and then they died and they ashes and it actually represents the kids and
Ring Around the Rosie was the way that you was a disease that you got, something like that. Yeah, the disease and then pockets full of what they put in there so that you'd smell nice.
So you smell nice and then and I remember being so sad for these kids because we would sing these songs with no care in the world, just like, oh, ring around the rosie.
Don't think about it.
You don't think about it. And then they explained it to me. And I can't even tell you if that's a legitimate thing that even happened.
It probably did.
Or if it was ghosts.
Or ghosts. Or
but
ghosts.
I just knew about that at such a young age, and I hate that song.
Yeah.
And they'd be like, let's play London Bridges.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, I don't want to play.
I don't want to play. That's where you die.
I don't want to play because that's what the one they have that you connect your hands and then the kids run underneath you.
And you trap them.
And then you trap them. And I'm like, I do not want to play that. No.
Yeah, that's fair. So.
Now I gotta have to block that off again. Back in the vault you go.
Yes. So you can email us, as I said, at the yesteryearpodcast at gmail.com. Twitter.com/yesteryearpcast. Pcast. Instagram.com/yesteryearpodcast. Facebook is facebook.com/yesteryearpodcast. We also have our private group, the Truffle Shufflers. Secret question is the host names, James and Beth. Be sure to answer all questions. We do have our awesome website, the Yesteryear Podcast at the yesteryearpodcast.com. Sorry about that. I definitely recommend checking it out, hitting up our sponsors and our affiliates. You can get a lot of cool stuff. You know, it's going to be coming up on Valentine's Day. And what would be cooler to send to somebody for Valentine's Day than a potato parcel? And if you do so through our link, we get credit for it. You get percentage off, and it's all so cool. I would think that they have, I've seen the emails, they have specific ones for Valentine's Day coming up, and you'd want to go ahead and get that geared now. So I would suggest that. Patreon is patreon.com/the nostalgia group. A shout out to Greg Revan for our intro and outro music. Check out our Facebook. I'm going to be putting it out in the group, and also he's got a video game page that he does, and it's pretty cool. He plays some games, and you can watch him play them and go through and stuff like that. He does speed runs. He does parts where he goes through and explains parts with like Pokemon and Resident Evil and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. So just a thought. I'm gonna link the page, probably not on the show, but through the group and everything like that. All right. What's up? What are you looking for? All right. As always, we do love you, and we can say good night, Beth.
Good night, everyone.